Panacharya, Nikila Darshan Samanvayacharya, Sanatan Vedic Dharma Pratishtapan, Sat Sampradaya Paramacharya, Bhakti Yog Ras Avatar, Bhagavadanand Shri Vibhushit, JagadGuru Tam, Swami Sri 1008, Shri Kripaluji Maharaj. हे अकारण करुणा पतित पावन श्री कृष्ण, तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण अनादिकाल से हमने अनंत अनंत दुख पाए एवं पा रहे हैं। पाप करते करते अंतःकरण इतना मलिन हो चुका है कि रसिकों द्वारा यह जान भी तुम अपने भुजाओं के पसारे अपनी वात्सल्यमय दृष्टि से हमारी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हो, तुम्हारे शरण मैं नहीं आ पाता। O my divine beloved, causelessly merciful Sri Krishna, having ignored you since time immemorial, I have been suffering. Committing sins life after life have made my mind so polluted, even though your saints are telling me you're waiting for me, with arms outstretched to embrace me, with a divine life to grace me. Still, I fail to surrender to you completely. All glories to Sri Radhesham, all glories to all saints and sages, all glories to Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, all glories to all aspiring souls, all glories to the Devas. Thank you for joining me. The root cause of our misery are desires. There is a vast difference between desiring what we need and what we want. Mankind loses his firm resolve in attaining God with unnecessary want. The reason for want is that we think that whatever we get will give us happiness. But the practice of acquisition and being caught in preservation of what you acquire, this continuous acquisition and preservation, the fulfilling of desires and the maintenance of what you have attained, keeps you completely preoccupied with the cares of the world. And at the same time, that firm resolve to attain love for God is not possible because we have one mind. God is not about religion. God doesn't care which religion you are following. God says that ye ata mam prapajanti tam stataiva bhajamyaham mama. I adore, I worship someone who worships me to whatever extent, to whatever degree, with whatever relational feeling. God is our Father, our dear friend. So to the extent we approach Him, He reciprocates that same relational feeling to the same extent. God is not looking at the religion you are following. He's looking at the purity of your mind, the intentions of your mind, which bring about your thoughts, desires, actions, habits, which create your character, which will definitely lead you to your destiny. So in the Quran, in Surah 74, entitled, One Wrapped Up. What are we wrapped up in? The acquisition of the things, the desired objects of the world, and the maintenance, the preservation of what we have acquired. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. in the name of God, who is most gracious and most merciful. God can do nothing else except to be graceful. For God needs nothing and wants nothing. And he needs to do something. So what does he do? He gives and gives and gives grace. Whatever he does, it's graceful. So the Lord is saying to his prophet, Rasul, arise and deliver your warning, and your Lord do you magnify, and your garments keep from stain, and shun all abomination, nor expect in giving any increase for yourself. See here it's pointing out, don't go beyond your need. That's our problem. We think more will give us more happiness. In fact, more will take away your peace of mind. And how can there be happiness for one lacking peace of mind? But for your Lord's cause, be patient and constant. Keep sharing this message. Finally, when the trumpet is sounded, that day will be a day of distress, far from easy for those without faith, to whom I have granted resources in abundance, and sons to be by his side, to whom I have made life smooth and comfortable. Yet, is he greedy that I should add even more? By no means, for to our signs he has been refractory, careless. Soon will I visit him with a mountain of calamities, for he taught and he plotted. Always plotting to acquire more is what mankind is caught doing. Woe to him, how he plotted. Yes, woe to him, how he plotted. Then he looked around, Then he frowned, raised eyebrows, and scowled at the message given to him by the Lord's prophet. Then he turned back and was haughty, proud, feeling well situated, and said he, this is nothing but magic nonsense, derived from old tales. This is nothing but the words of a mortal. Pride. And then God says, soon I will cast him into hellfire. Now let's look at the Bible. In the book of Revelations, given to John, who was exiled on the island of Patmos, to the angel of the church in Laodicea, these are the words of Yeshua, the faithful and true witness. I know your deeds, that you are neither cold or hot. I wish you were either or the other. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot or cold, I'm about to spit you out of my mouth. Pride comes. You say I'm rich, I have acquired wealth and I don't need a thing. But you do not realize you are wretched, poor, blind, and naked. This is what pride does to us. Having wealth and feeling secure in the wealth you have, you think that you're well situated. Then death comes and takes everything from you, and you lose the opportunity to attain God, and you lose your wealth as well when death comes and takes it all. I counsel you to buy from me gold refined in fire. This is the instructions given to us in all the scriptures. Love God with all your heart and all your soul. Gita says, Man mana bhava, fix your mind on me. The Quran says that from Allah you have come and to Allah you shall return. All the scriptures is identifying this fact that you are here with the single purpose of attaining love and to serve God. That's your purpose. Take what you need and remember fully who the rest belong to. That should be your understanding and the way to live. Live a simple life like all the prophets. I counsel you to buy from me gold refined in fire so you can become rich, and white clothes to wear so you can cover your shameful nakedness, and salve to put on your eyes so you can see. You see, this humility is a salve that destroys pride, and then you can understand God. Pride makes you blind. Those whom I love, I rebuke and discipline. So be earnest and repent. Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with him, and he with me. To him who overcomes, I will give the right to sit with me on my throne, just as I overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. He who has ears, let him hear. Now let's go to the Srimad Bhagavatam. In Canto 7, chapter 9 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. When Bhagavan Narsingh killed Hiranyakashipu, all the angels, the Kimpusaras, the Vidyadharas, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, they all came there. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, all the Devis, the goddesses and the gods came there to show their appreciation, to give thanks to the Lord, because this demon, he had usurped the heavens, how powerful he was, and he forced the angels to worship him as God and prevented them from worshiping the true God. So they came there to offer their gratitude. But the Lord was very ferocious at this moment, having just destroyed this demon. He had wrapped the demon's intestines around his neck like a garland. His claws were dripping with blood. His mane was shaking the clouds in the sky, for he extended his body as tall as the clouds, and he was roaring like thunder. So the angels stood at a considerable distance, fearful, even though it's their Lord. You know, if your mother gets angry with someone else, and at that moment of anger, if you enter, maybe she'll take it out on you. So that they were stood at a considerable distance, and they said to Brahmaji, "You are his first mind-born son. Please go and offer our gratitude." Brahma said, "I can't go. I am fearful of him." Then they said to Lord Shiva, "You go, my Lord. After all, you create a pillar that destroys Bhubhuvasva, the three regions of the material universe." Lord Shiva refused to go. Then they said to Lakshmi ji, he is your Dharmapatni, you are his Dharmapatni, you go. And she said, no, I can't approach this form I have never seen, and I'm fearful. Then they said to Prahlad Maharaj, he came on your behalf. He came to protect you when your father was about to slay you. And so you please go. This little boy, 5 years old, went and laid like a stick in front of the Lord. Immediately the Lord became pacified and picked the child up and rubbed his hair and his head and smelled it and said to the little boy, "Ask me for a boon, Bharmango." Prahlad Maharaj said, "Lord, why should I ask you for a boon? My relationship with you is not a business. I don't worship you so that you can give me something. That's for business people. My relationship with you is based on I love you and you love me, and I'm satisfied, completely contented in that." Then the Lord said, "Yes, I know, but I want to give you something personal. When anyone attains my darshan, my presence, from then on he should have no more desires. Ask me for something." Then Prahlad said, "Lord, if you want to give me something, give me the intelligence. Give me the intelligence by which no new desire can sprout in my mind." The Lord thought to himself, "Wow, today I meet a real devotee. Give me the intelligence by which no new desire can sprout in my mind." One should approach God with a single-minded desire to love and serve Him. Why are you asking for anything? Don't you know He's omniscient? He knows what you need. And if you ask for things, it means you're not offering love and praise to God and thanks for what you already have, but you are like a business person thinking that worshiping God means that He should supply you with the list that you approach Him with. This is not worship. This is not love. And like Jesus said, just fix your mind in loving God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind, and all your strength, and then everything else will be automatically added to this. Why do you need to be asking Him for this and that? We don't know even how to pray. We should be asking God, "Lord, what can I do for you?" instead of what God can do for us. So Prahlad Maharaj says, "Lord, with the appearance of desire, one's body, senses, and mind, the power of one's body, senses, and mind gets depleted. One's vital energy gets used up in the pursuit of desire and in the maintenance of desire, that desired object. One's firmness in worshiping you gets diminished. That firm resolve of attaining God gets destroyed in the maintenance of the cares of the world, all your desired objects. One's truthfulness diminishes because you will lie and do anything to get what you want. One's righteousness diminishes because you will then do anything to get what you want. So your truthfulness, your righteousness, and one's compassion, because if anyone stands in your way in the acquisition of your desired object, then you will be ruthless. So one's compassion, one's firmness in attaining love for God, all of this disappear with the appearance of desire. On the other hand, my Lord, if one gives up those deep-rooted desires of the heart, then he becomes immediately eligible to attain love for you. He becomes immediately eligible to attain union with you. Because it's the principle that as close as you go to God, that's how close God can come to you. If you're attached to God 10%, then God will become attached to you 10%. When you are attached to God 50%, then God will be attached to you 50%. When you are attached to God 100%, then God will be attached to you 100%. And what's preventing us to be 100% attached to God? The desires of the world. That's why it is said in 6.2 of the Gita, Nahi asanya asta sankalpo. Yogi bhavati kaschana, that for no one attains union with God, no one attains union with Sri Krishna, the all-attractive one, who have not give up the thoughts that give rise to desires of the world. In another part of the Srimad Bhagavatam, after the battle of Kurukshetra, Sri Krishna was returning to his city Dwarka, and he asked Mother Kunti, my dear Kunti, ask me for a boon as I am about to return to my city Dwarka. Mother Kunti said, my Lord, take away my wealth and give me disappointment in every step of the way. Krishna said to her, Mother Kunti, this is the strangest wish I've ever heard from someone. For all other people ask for relief of all suffering, and they ask for wealth and comforts of this world. But you're asking for the opposite. Mata Kunti, the wisest of women, said, don't try to trick me, my beloved Lord Krishna. For when one has a lot of wealth, all pretentious people surround them. Not because they love them, but because they expect to get something from them. And then they keep you distracted in your effort to attain God. And with disappointment, with the lack of wealth, then I will always remember you when I know that this world is a disappointment, that everyone is selfish. I will always think of you in the miseries of this world. I will remember you, and if I remember you, I will come to you. You see, this is the fact that if you practice to remember God your whole life, if you practice to remember God all the time, Ananya chetaha satatam yomam smarati nitya saha tasyam sulabha parta nityayuktasya yoginaha. In 8.14 of the Gita, Sri Krishna says that the one who remembers me all the time, in all places and at all times, remembers me, practices to remember me. In the Quran, zikir is practiced, which is the word in Arabic meaning remember, remember. In the Bible it is said, draw near to me and I'll draw near to you. What draw near to you? Not your physical body, your mind, your remembrance. The function of the mind is to remember. Remember me and I will remember you. That's the principle. The one who remembers God all the time. For such a person, it is the easiest thing to attain God. For he is determined. Nitya yuktasya yogina. He is determined in attaining love for God before he leaves this mortal coil. So the Lord is saying, you have to do this. That desires. The question was asked. Atakena prayuktayam papam charti purusha. Anikchanapi varsneya baladiva niyujitaha. My Lord, why is it that man is committing sins, seemingly involuntary, seemingly unwilling to do so, as if driven by some force? And the Lord answered, Kamesha krudesha raja guna samudbhavaha. Mahashanu mahapapma vidyehi namiha varinam. That it is desires only, born of the quality of passion. When the desire is fulfilled, it becomes mahashanu. It's insatiable by nature. The more you get, the more you want. Just as the Quran says that Lord has given him abundance and has made a smooth and comfortable life, but yet he's looking for more. That's our condition. Desires for more and more will keep you greedy, because this quality of mind is insatiable by nature. And if you don't get what you want, krodesha, you will get angry. And from anger comes violence, comes hate, comes malice, the diseases of the mind. Is worse than the diseases of the body. Lust, greed, anger, hate, all of this are birthed out of desire. So practice contentment. Practice gratitude for what you already have. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude. And practice contentment. And focus on attaining the real prize of loving and serving God. You see, it is said in the Gita, Sri Krishna says that avritam jnana itena jnanino nitya vairena kamarupena konteya dushparena analena cha. This is 336, 337, 339 Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishna says these desires destroys knowledge of your relationship between you and God. It destroys spiritual awareness, because now you're focused on only the material things. It destroys spiritual awareness. And it burns like an ever-increasing fire. Dushparena nalena chai. It's like an ever-increasing fire. Each desire is just like pouring fuel into a fire, which the desires just get greater and greater. And then finally you will be consumed by the fire of your desires, which is Jnanino nitya vairena, the eternal enemy of those that seek wisdom. The eternal enemy of the wise. So what to do? It is said that this enemy, called desire, dwelling within the senses, mind, and intelligence, covers the perception of the embodied living soul and deludes him. Therefore, O noblest of Bharatas, control your senses, destroy desire, the embodiment of sin, which destroys both knowledge and God realization. So my dear aspiring souls, all the scriptures are saying that you're distracted by the cares of the world. You cannot make a concerted effort in attaining God, which you will have to do, because you're not going to rest in peace because you die. You will have to attain God before you can rest in peace. So I thank you for joining me. Please do so next Sunday at the same time. You will hear JagadGuru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj discuss the scriptures. Jai Shri Radhe.